Okay, for number 18, we're taking a look at basically a system here. It says we have a line represented by the equation 4y plus 2x equals 33.6. And then we have a different function where we're just simply given the table and then want to know what the solution is. In other words, where do these two lines intersect each other? So there's a few different ways you can go about doing this. I'm going to explain this using a linear regression method, or basically relying on the calculator here, which we're more than welcome to do, being that it's multiple choice. I actually found this to be one of the more difficult questions on the test overall, or even just on the multiple choice. So using that table, I'm going to come up with a linear regression. Don't forget that's under Stat, Calc. First, we're going to go into Stat, select Edit. We're going to enter these in, treating this as L1, this in L2. After you've done that correctly and checked that all the numbers are corresponding correctly, you're then going to hit Stat, scroll over to Calc, select choice 4 for linreg. Okay, and we'll get our equation here. So the whole point of doing this is so instead of just looking at a table where it's hard to, obviously they don't share anything in the table, we can actually have an equation to do something else with. So this equation ends up being, your calculator will tell you like A equals and B equals, but just putting it together, 0.2x plus 4.2. So now at least I can kind of ignore the table and I have something physical that I can kind of do something with here. So that's your first move. Now I'm going to write that top equation again. So now we could do, like I said, there's a bunch of different avenues you can go down for this problem. We could get that red equation in y equals and use the graphing calculator and use the intersection feature. That's one option. We can do it algebraically where since it says y equals, the linear regression we got, I can substitute into that red equation wherever it says y. So let's try it that way. Calculator intersection feature, sometimes be a little tricky, but certainly an avenue you could have gone down. Doing it algebraically, we're going to get this. I'm distributing. I'm going to combine my like terms here. 2.8x. I'm going to subtract the 16.8, and that's going to give me 16.8 again, ironically, from 33.6. And now dividing by 2.8, I get x equals 6. So the good thing here, none of the other solutions start with a 6. So if I know x equals 6, I don't even have to bother finding y, but it would be 5.4. And anyway, the answer is 4 here. It's the only one that has an x value of 6. If you did really care and you wanted to verify, we can plug in a 6 for x. And we want to make sure this is 5.4. That's 1.2 plus 4.2 is correctly 5.4. This is a good example of a problem that, like I said, literally has a number of ways you can get into solving it. I happen to rely on the calculator for the equation, and then I did some algebra to actually solve it. We could have also done y equals and y equals here to graph these two using the intersection feature. If we got that red equation, that second equation into y equals form, that's certainly another way to do this one.